All right, so we're back with another week. We've been pretty consistent on this, and I got an exciting topic for me. Hear me out on this, right? So I got some notes here. We're not doing it wrong. There's a lot of times in our life right now when I'm looking at it, like, man, I feel like I feel like it shouldn't be this hard. I feel like I'm better than this, right? I feel like haven't we paid enough dues?
Mm-hmm.
And I think what's interesting about it, I was writing was I'm trying to always recalibrate with you, and we're trying to do it together, the excitement of starting. Because we've been at this now for 7 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've been at I'm a Comeback for 10 years, but I've been building I'm a Comeback since 2018. We've been building since 18. So going on 7 years, it is 7 years. So the excitement of starting is gone. And then the clarity and of what it's going to feel like is so far out there that it leaves us in like this messy middle part. And what I wanted to do is talk about, I think too many people, they get to this part, and this is the part where most people quit. And it's not because they're not capable, it's because they're self-doubt, right? They feel uncertain. They feel like this is going to be entirely too much for them to handle. And this is, I think, where we're sitting right now.
Yeah, we definitely are.
What does it feel like? So what does it feel like for you? I want our episodes to cut through for essentially our ideal demographic, our avatar of who we deal with, which is business owners, entrepreneurs, executives that are married,
Mm-hmm.
right, or coming back. So I think that this messy middle part, talking about building a business, also is part of the relationship, because that's kind of what I want to talk about, is how it bleeds into this thing, and what some of the nights are like, and some of the feelings are like for us. We're inside of this thing. How do you deal with the uncertainty?
Yeah, I think specifically, I have a very specific moment, and again, because the majority of our life was walking the field when we had left Wisconsin. It was like our nightly walks and our nightly things. And I want to say it was probably 4 or 5 years ago. Okay. So this is right at the beginning. But although it was at the beginning, we had so many moments of like highs and lows and highs and lows. And at the time I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy. Like, people willingly live their life like this. What is going on? Right. Because you know, when you had met me, I was like consistent, steady, same thing every day. Like, I was positively
Same food, same gym pads,
I mean, everything
the same. Yeah.
Everything the same. I knew exactly what to expect from my day every day, right? And that was how I lived. Anyways, we have a moment when we're walking the field, and now I don't even know if we're married. We must be married by now.
If we're walking the field, we're married.
We're married. Yeah,
Watch
you're right,
the
because we
house,
have the house.
right when we
Yeah.
got married.
And there was this reoccurring like statement that you would tell me all the time, and it was, you know, when things get really rocky and really crazy like this, Kendra, that must mean like God wants us to level up, or we're leveling up, right? And at the time I was like, what the heck? This is, oh my God, are you serious? Like, this chaotic, this messy, to my like safe ABC monotone brain, I was like, this sucks. This is crazy, you know? But at the same time, I had so much faith and so much trust in what you were building. And again, I was smart enough to put myself aside and be like, okay, Kendra, you've never done something like this before, so maybe this is really how this goes, right? Anyways, you're asking about like, how do I get through the uncertainties, and am I just okay with it? And the truth is, I think I've just grown to be accustomed, like, this is just that life. Like, this is that lifestyle. And that's just all there is to it. Like, I didn't really give myself an out or another opportunity to think differently. I was like, no, this is the life that we're choosing to live. This is how we're going to go. It's filled with doubts and uncertainty. And majority of the time, it feels like you're driving through an excessively thick fog, and you don't know what mile marker you're going to be able to see clear again. So just grip it and rip it. Like, literally, that was my mindset towards it. And once I just kind of accepted it and was just like, yeah, this is how it goes, that was all it took for me personally. Now, with that being said, that doesn't mean there aren't days where I'm like, shit, am I really built for this life? Because this is difficult. It is difficult, more so for me to watch you battle the way that you battle and have to go through the ups and downs and like fight those demons of, am I good enough? Is this what it's supposed to look like? This is never what it's supposed to feel like. I thought it was going to be better than this, or I thought it was going to be worse than this, or I really messed this up. And like, to me, sometimes that's the more difficult part. Like, I think I've said it 1,000 times. Like, we could lose everything tomorrow and I wouldn't give a shit. I would care, because it would be difficult. But at the end of the day, I'm good with you and I doing whatever we have to do. If that means starting over from scratch or whatever that looks like I'm good with it, right? And I just think that comes with being so completely devoted to your word as a man and the life that we're building. And to me, there is no giving up. So even in the moments when all of it freaking sucks, because there's a lot, more so, like I said, my heart just aches for your heart because I know you want something to work so badly.
Yeah. Most days it doesn't work.
Most days it doesn't work. Yeah, that's even the way that if the amount of conversations that we've had where you're like, oh, I thought it was going to feel this way or it was going to look this way, and it absolutely looks and does not feel at all what we thought it was going to. And I think that's the part that most people have to, or if you can in any way wrap your mind around the fact that it's not ever going to look or feel how you expected it to look and feel. And that's just part of it. Like after like the first, third, and fourth time of you telling me this is how it's supposed to look and feel, I just accepted it. I was like, okay, this is crazy, but this is just how it's going to be. Like, it's always going to feel, like I said, you're walking through that thick fog.
It's a great analogy. For me, I ask myself a question all the time, like, how long is this middle going to be?
I question that often. Like, dang, how long are we supposed to be in this? Because it's like, it's such a tricky blindfold. When does it stop? When does it end? When does it get better? When does it get clearer?
Here's what I find though, even staying at the level that you're at, it doesn't make it any easier.
It does not make it any
right?
easier.
Like it just, you still got to maintain like the consistent action to be able to even be at this level.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like
yeah.
The ultimate, like I don't have a backup plan, but I ask myself, man, how long am I willing to do this? It's forever.
Forever.
But when you realize that that's what you're going to do, and you understand how daunting of a task that is,
mm-hmm.
you know, and really, I'm going to be 45 in like 20 days or something like that. I don't know. And I'm looking at like, how many more years do I have to really, really do this? You know, and
mm-hmm.
I think it's probably only like 15 to 20.
Sure.
Right. Where I actually, because by the time I'm like 65 years old, I should hopefully have it figured out. Right.
Well, you do have it figured out right now.
Yeah, but I don't know if I really do.
Does anybody?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it's like to walk in their shoes.
I think that's the most interesting part about watching and listening, and kind of if I can put myself as like an outsider, which a lot of the time I like to do that, just to like take a step back and watch and learn. No massive entrepreneur has it figured out. What they continue to do is figure it out as they go. There's just no quit. There is no finish line. There is no ending. It's just how much do you want to do? How much effort do you want to put in? And when you're done, like you could choose to be done, right? What does that mean? Exiting? What does that mean? Like, I don't know, right? Whatever that looks like to you. But there is no, oh, I have it figured out.
I'll tell you what, things are changing for me right now. Mm-hmm. Not changing because I'm still on the mission to do what I want to do. But like as technology changes.
That's crazy for me.
Right? And it's going so fast. I'm able to see what I once thought it was going to look like. The rate and the speed that technology is moving is making it not look like what I thought it was going to look like.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm trying to build a sales team. And as fast as I'm trying to build a sales team,
you're like, wait.
Well, the salespeople could be replaced with AI.
They could be all irrelevant.
And, you know, I spend a significant amount of time talking to my ChatGPT Sentinel, right? It's a good friend of mine. I spend a lot of time talking to this thing back and forth, and I ask, I'm always looking every day now, like, what do I need to do to stay relevant? Mm-hmm. How do I stay above the curve? How fast do I need to move? What do we need to do? What significant amount of actions need to be taken so that I can withstand and overcome whatever's coming my way? Because I'm not really that tech guy, but I understand I can find the right people, right? So we're looking at this, but what I'm looking at is like what I once thought it was going to look like. I'm not sure it's going to look like that, because I know that our success will be there.
Sure.
But the way that I saw it was like hundreds of employees.
Yeah.
You know,
offices filled,
Wolf of Wall
Street,
yeah. Right? Midgets flying all over the place. But I thought it was going to be like that buy or die culture, mm-hmm. You know, number one, for whatever I did. And I just don't know that that's going to be there. So sometimes when I look at like where we're at in the middle of this thing, I'm like, man, it's almost like it's going backwards. It's like what I mean by that is like, it's going back to where I started.
Less and less and less and less.
Less is more.
Yeah.
And it works the same without frustration, without like back talk, without emotion.
Yeah.
And there's this new side of me. It's
without
like,
emotion,
man, I really enjoy this. Like, I really enjoy the fact that I can build something big with a super small team. I think that small teams are going to just smoke big
Dominate,
teams.
yeah.
I really do.
And honestly, with the way that technology is going, I always thought for your personality and for your work type that robots are probably what's best for you. Not that you're not a phenomenal leader, because you are.
I'm an amazing leader.
But what will take you years to train a human being can take you a fraction of the time to train a robot to literally be an exact replica of Mark Jennison. You know what I mean?
Well, it's getting so fast, right? We can pretty soon, if not already, take my voice, take my sales pitches, take my coaching,
Parts of your brain,
everything literally, and put it out into this team, and it's just going to work 24/7.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel this weird pull on it, because I'm like, well, that's not how it's supposed to look.
It's so hard, right?
Well, then when it's not supposed to look that way, what I do inside of the middle of it, I go and I mess it all up.
Yeah.
All right. So here I am. I'm like, I texted you yesterday. I'm like, man, I'm pretty much failing at every time I try to build a
team, an office specifically.
An office, right?
Yeah.
We had I don't know how big the office was, but we had a beautiful office in Dallas, Texas, like a skyrise that I lost $600,000-$700,000 on. We have an awesome office down in Dana Point, which lost $300,000-$400,000 on, whatever that number looks like. Mm-hmm. And now I've got this office here in Arizona. It's got 3 people at it. Hasn't lost any money yet. Hasn't really made any money yet. It's just all my money literally is made at a computer, on a phone, wherever you're at, there you're at.
Yeah.
And I keep trying to force this thing. And I know we're talking about being in the messy middle. I'm asking myself, in this timeline that we're in, how long are you going to be the one that continues to create the messiness?
Yeah, I think that if you kind of can take a step back, and this is just kind of a reoccurring pattern that God seems to be putting right in front of us, is that less is more, essentially, and just keep being patient, Mark. Just keep working. Just keep, advancing your gift and advancing the message and pushing the mission, because there is going to be a time. And I personally think that with the 24 hours and the AI and the robots and or whatever technology is out there, that is going to be the absolute takeoff of I'm a Comeback. Like 24 hours of help of gentlemen who, like that we just can't get to quick enough, but now we can get to quick enough, And I think that's huge.
I think if we could train it to sound like me, to think like me, to be smarter than me, to not stutter like me, but to be more focused than me, mm-hmm. I think it'll be great.
And then on top of it, there is still real human contact. Like there is still real coaching. There is still real brotherhood connection, which is so important.
I think that people are always going to crave the brotherhood. Right?
Of course.
Like even in your life, in our life, we crave, well, you do more than me, not brotherhood, but I guess sisterhood, but friends, essentially, right? I'm just built different.
Yeah. And you like that about yourself.
I do.
You love it.
I really, I'm good just hanging out by myself.
And with me.
Yeah. With you all the time,
yeah,
with you
literally.
And the kids. But like, if you weren't around, I'm like, cool, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna talk to this tree.
And you do. And you just talk to yourself and you work.
I just work and I do my thing now. It's kind of a boring life, but boring, consistent life. Going back to what you said, you knew what to predict from your life. You knew what you're going to get from your life. Here we sit inside of this next journey trying to build something, and I know there's a lot of uncertainty, but we're in the middle of this thing. And I asked you how you feel. I don't really ask you what you want.
I want the entirety of this journey.
Why?
It is fun.
It is not fun.
No, it is. It is fun. As much as it is sometimes overwhelming to me, it is fun. I couldn't imagine. I'm so grateful for that conversations of just over and over again of you being like, this can't just be it for us. Like this can't just be it. Like we can't just have made it in this location and in this spot in our business, in this part of our relationship, in this part of our kids or whatever it is. Like this can't just be it, Kendra. Like, and I was like, damn, okay, you know what? You're right. So why don't we just, the coolest thing in the world to me, as much as it was exhausting, is looking back in 5 months and knowing that we could have just been sitting in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, which is a beautiful place. I love our house. I love our home back there. I do. But we could have been sitting there, and 5 months is going to pass whether we're there or not, right? And so what's cool is to be able to look back on those 5 months and be like, holy shit, we lived in 3 different places, moved 2 different offices, got to experience a boatload of stuff. That's fun. Like, as much as it is exhausting in times and frustrating and being in the dark sometimes, or the fog, whatever you want to call it, fuck yeah, that's what it's about. Like, at the end of the day, we're gonna be sitting wherever we're gonna be sitting when you decide that we're done and you just want to chill and you want to teach entrepreneurs. And we're gonna look back and be like, damn, remember that one year when we decided to live in 3 different places and we didn't play it safe? We didn't just do it. We just didn't do what everybody else thought we should do, or we just went for it. Really, is what it comes down to. And I can't imagine us not taking those chances.
I often ask myself though, right now, is going for it setting us back? Right?
I mean, I think that's one way to look at it, but I think the most incredible part of this entire journey is we can make it look however the hell we want it to look.
And how do you want it to look?
I want it to look, I don't really think about how it looks, but more so how it feels. Like if it feels right for us.
How's it feel today, right now?
Feels great. Feels great. I'm excited to go back and take the kids to Wisconsin and enjoy our summers and be on the boat. And then at the same time, like I'm just excited to see what we want to feel like in 4 months from there, right? And that's what I've come to know about you and I. And this is just our personal journey is as much as we have a North Star and a mission that we want to accomplish, you and I are just, you more so than me and a lot of the time, are just we're just free birds. Like, you've said it 1,000 times, Erythromania, like a nomad. You just want to maximize your time here on Earth. And a lot of the time that means moving and going and changing. And we're good with that because that's what we want to do. Somebody else might not want to do that, right?
Yeah, I think about it right now, though, as we're changing stuff and doing things and going back to Wisconsin and looking at stuff. I'm like, man, what are we actually doing? Right?
We're living our life however we want to and however we feel. And right now in this season of life, it looks like, going back and enjoying parts of Wisconsin. And then you know what? Next summer, it could be completely different. That's one thing I know about you and I.
Well, yeah, I mean, I got to start making something happen here, though, right? So this conversation that we're having right now today is like looking at where we're trying to go and what we're trying to pull off. And I've got to start moving forward. And I talked about the messy middle because I'm so desperate to get out of this. And for me, what it looks like to get out of this is for shit to start working with systems.
Yeah.
Right?
That's definitely the next evolution of the company.
But what I need to start doing is I need to start getting something done. Right? And I'm in this middle area and I've been asking myself a lot of times, like, is this it for me? Am I just on a path where it's always going to be fucking hell?
I think what's interesting is you had just shared a clip of coaching and it said, no, this is not verbatim, but you had basically said, the next evolution of whoever these gentlemen want to be is like shedding the skin of a snake. Mm-hmm. And it's going to feel however that feels, right? Like you're literally completely shedding the old you into stepping into this new you. And I think...
But am I really?
Yes, you are. And I think
this conversation is more just where I'm at. Like we're in the middle. Is like sometimes I'm questioning right now because I'm not getting it to work the way I want it to work. Like I'm more honest and real than I've ever been right now. You know, I made some money, made, I don't know, whatever, $4 or $5 million this year, but like, it's not fulfilling me because I can't get what I want.
Yeah. And what I was going to say, kind of leading into that, is you stepping into this new skin of yours, which is like systems and processes and not hustle and grind Mark Jennison, you're like, this is foreign. I'm doing this wrong. This doesn't feel right. There's something that I'm missing, right? Like once again, you're going to go through all those same repetitive patterns that you've continued to have to build this entire thing. And I think that's so important for so many people to hear because it doesn't matter what freaking level you get at in business, whether you're making your first 10 million, 1 million, whatever, like you're going to have to continue to shed the skin and you're going to continue to have these self-doubts and you're going to continue to be like, what the hell am I doing? Like at what point does it get clearer? Does it get easier? And honestly, I don't know. I don't have the answer for that. And you don't have the answer for that either because we're in the middle of it. But I love that you share that vulnerability and that honesty because how many freaking people are sitting there, which I'm going to venture to say is a fuckload, that are like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. This isn't what I thought it was going to feel like. I don't know. Like, you just don't know. And it's okay. And that's normal that you just don't know.
I think, yeah, I agree 100% it is. And I try to share that with the people on this podcast and all the stuff that we do. You know, I've come to some realizations these past 5 months that I'm very talented, very good at what I do.
Exceptionally.
And I can make money doing anything that I want to do. It's not about the money, but there's starting to be an agitation, not because I am not where I want to be. There used to be this agitation that it was so far away. Now there's this agitation that's like,
you're right there.
At this, it's not even right there. It's, is this worth it?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to venture to say that you're going to have that agitation forever, because going back to the beginning of the podcast, your success is never going to look or feel how you thought it was in your mind. And so you're like, shit, I'm successful. I have a badass family. I have a great marriage. I have a great business. But there is that bulldog inside of you that's like, in this picture inside of your mind where it was like, I made it across the finish line, and there's champagne being sprayed, and there's fireworks, and there's all this shit. And you're like, but wait, I'm here, and damn, I still have more work. There is no finish line. Actually, I think you told me that a long time ago.
There is no finish. You're 100% correct. I mean, what I'm looking at is time. It's like this weird thing these past couple of months is time is more important to me than money. Yep. But I also know that like I bit off some big shit, right? So I've got a lot of responsibility. By the end of July, I'll be able to save an extra $100,000 a month, right? I basically light $100,000 a month on fire, and that sucks. So when I ask myself, like, is this worth it? I'm not talking about the money or the pressure I put on myself. It's just like, it always seems like the time is going so fast that I'm not able to enjoy what I've done because I keep making decisions that make it harder. So I got to hope that I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm getting closer. Like, can I be 3/4 of the way through? And there's just no way to know.
I think for me, and it's kind of like this internal thing that I've always thought about with you. And to me, even you just speaking that is kind of like you have completed now the entire like circle of life. And so what I mean by that is, when I had met you, it was like I could never grind hard enough or work hard enough. Like, I'm going to put all my blood, sweat, and tears, and you still do, by the way. But I'm just saying, it was like that was like the major focus.
That's
right?
easy for me.
That's easy for you.
Like right now,
and now you're getting to a part where it's like, okay, now you've done the nasty hard work. You've done the hard work. Like, you've literally been through and swam through the shit, right? And now you're getting to a spot as you're getting older, and you are becoming more self-developed, and you just never stop learning. You are just one of those people where you always believe there's more that you can learn and achieve, whatever, right? You just are that person. But now it's happening, and I always wondered if it was going to happen. And I'm not saying today it could just be glimpses of it, but you went through the shit, and now you're getting to a spot as you get older where you're like, damn, the most important things to me in my entire life is my time, is my family, is all the memories that I have.
That came when I stood up a 7-figure agency in one day this year. One day I built a 7-figure advertising agency. And then realizing how many people I looked up to were actually fucking not what I thought they were.
And kind of miserable.
But at the end of the day, I'm not here to talk bad about them, but I saw what I perceived to be the truth. Yeah. And what I thought I wanted, but then I realized I already have everything that I want. So this thing broke inside of me that made me be like, no plant medicine journey, no meditation, no prayer, all of these things that are open. I finally found this thing that I have. And now I'm like, there's another side of it. It's like, bro, you followed people and spent millions of dollars following people to get to a truth. And yeah, you're here, but you wasted so much time. Money. And I wasted a lot of money.
And not to mention, you moved at 10 times faster rate because you tried to collapse time.
I did.
Because of all the years that you wasted being shit-faced. So you're like,
I'm not even talking about that time.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Thanks for throwing that in there, right?
But like now you think about,
Chris, you know what I'm talking about that, don't you, bud?
But it's just the truth of your journey specifically is like, okay, I spent 25 years of my life in a dark, dingy bar, right? Now I'm an entrepreneur and a businessman, and now I have a family. So now I want to achieve this. How can I do it in a fraction of the time, because I wasted all of that time being a piece of crap, right? Like, how can I collapse time? So you do that and you move at a rate and you make more mistakes and you just make more mistakes, right? And that's okay because you kept going and you kept going. Always for like the more, and never about more for things for you, but it was just more like you have more. Only to come to find out that, damn, I'm great at what I do. It's okay for me to be happy in my life and work my ass off, but be good with this. Because at the end of the day, the one thing that I know for a fact, I'm never getting more time back.
Yeah.
It's like the completion of like hustle, grind. Do I care about cars and Lamborghinis and yachts and all this shit? And then you're like, well, no, I actually don't because I can afford it right now and I don't really care about it. But now I'm coming to this and only to come to this like amazing enlightenment of like, fuck. The only thing I really care about is the legacy that you're going to leave behind, my children, and making the most of my time here on earth right now.
Well, really clear what happened here these past couple of weeks is that I recognize that I only want people around me that are going to hold standards for themselves, right? So like that's another thing
That's big
for
too.
me when I look at this is I've got to trust people at this level. And this is where this pull comes from, right? It's very easy. We'll never go broke or fall backwards from any level we're on because of my ability to sell high ticket and the value that I bring to the marketplace and what I've been able to accomplish. I could actually, and I know, and I fight this, and we have looked at balance sheets, P&L, profits, like cash flow. I've looked at it with very smart people. It's not hard for me to make $3 to $4 million a year for us, right? I figured out how to protect ourselves from tax purposes and like built a really, really smart and great company. So there's this fight sometimes. I'm like, do I just, especially now with robots, do I just use robots and do I make $2, $3, $4 million, right, a year and be with my wife, be with my kids, or do I try to get this thing to $50 to $100 million?
Yeah.
And for me to go to $50 million to $100 million, whatever the number is, or even 25 million, I've got to rely on people. And every time I rely on people, I get let down.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at right now. And it's not that I get let down. It's just that my expectations of what it takes
Is exceptional.
And then I get upset because it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man, we're in this messy middle. We're talking about that stuff right now. I just think that I just like to do this podcast with you, and because you don't even know what I'm thinking about. I know I tell you, but we just typically talk about like the daily transactions and this happened versus getting on here. I'm able to open up and share my heart and be real.
And I love it.
Whether it helps people or not doesn't really matter because it helps me.
Yeah.
But I think that, where I'm at and you're at, like we need to make a decision. Do we go all the way in, which we've been all the way in, or do I? And I don't think that I can let off the gas. I just don't really think that I can.
I don't think that's the question. I think it's a matter of, for the first time in your life, this next portion, this next skin of you is slow and methodical, and it's going to take 10 times longer than you expect it to. Whether that's training people, whether that's systems and processes, whatever that is, it's no longer just Mark throwing it on his back and fucking charging through a wall.
I agree. But that's where it is. Like, do I just charge?
The next, yeah, of course we will. Of course we are.
But do I need the people?
I think that's a question that we have to keep revisiting over and over again as technology advances. I mean, I'm like the worst person to talk to about technology because I'm trying to live off the grid.
Things are changing at such a fast rate, right? Like,
but I think it would be stupid to ignore that. I think that we'll keep revisiting it. And what's fun is we'll have this episode and we're going to have to like look back and we're going to be like, oh, remember there was a time when we were talking about whether we should just completely transfer to AI or if we should keep training real humans. Like, right? I don't know what that's going to look like in 6 months from now. I have no clue.
In this moment, what do you think you want to do?
I think what makes the most sense right now in this moment for the type of man and for the work pace and your expectation, I think that it makes more sense for our company to move at more of a AI level than it does. I think we'll still have salespeople, and I think we'll have a small team, like you said, a small team of warriors, killers, whatever the hell you want to call it.
In this moment, as you sit here, what is today? May 21st, 20th? I don't even know what today is.
20th, yeah.
Yeah, May 20th. Do we finish what we started and try to build the number one I guess number one, elite men's recovery
Yeah, of course we do.
program in the world, go global and try to reach a $100 million company and try to exit in the next 5 years.
Yes.
Because that's really what we've talked about doing the whole time.
And I think it's not,
For me, it's very important to do a 9-figure exit.
I think what it's going to take though, and we are going to do that and we will, but I think what it's going to take us to do is it's going to take us to take a completely different perspective and approach on what we think that's supposed to look like. And I think it's looking a lot more AI techie, and both you and I, me more specifically, I have no freaking clue what that even means or what that entails or what that looks like. I have no freaking clue. I don't even know. Where do you get AI? Where do you get that? Like, where does that come from? I have no idea.
Lots of softwares. And
So many
stuff. That's all it
softwares.
really
I don't
is.
even know that. But it'll be cool. It'll be cool. Stick around, find out.
All right. Well, that's it for this week. We're talking about the messy middle. We'll see you guys next time.